Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Attention husbands, all husbands, your attention please. Remember, every time you talk to your wife, your mind should remember that this conversation will be recorded for training and quality. Morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a real live patriot to give us our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. And a good morning to you on this, holy cow, it's Wednesday, September 19th already. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, with a great big fall tire sale going on right now. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Oh, my goodness, let's go to the phone line right now and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning again, sir.
Are you the man?
Yes, I figured I'd do it this morning.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very well done, Wheels, and we will see you at Lunch Bunch tomorrow. We'll talk more about that later. Right now, let's go to the weather from K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hebron. They're already there. I mean, they get there at 7 in the morning, Roger and the whole crew, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway, and they've got the best of tools and equipment to finish any construction project. Anything you're doing, till up those gardens with all those tillers, and of course, if you're digging something, they've got all the excavators. Holy moly, call them today. Stop in. K&R Rental on the Burley-Paul Highway, 678-3122, and right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Look at your weather forecast as we hit midweek stride. Most of the day is going to be nice. Maybe some storm action by this afternoon and early evening hours, and then back to business as usual and sunny skies for the rest of the week. So here's your weather forecast for today. Mostly sunny skies, expecting a high of 75, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. By tonight, we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Partly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 43. Winds are going to gust right around 20 miles an hour out of the west-southwest. By tomorrow morning, we're expecting sunny skies, high of 70, clear skies for tomorrow night with a low of 40. By Friday, sunny skies, back up to 77, and then for Saturday, sunny skies, back up to 80. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Wow, sounds pretty good to me. Thank you, Gina, and brought to you by K&R Rental. Hello, Roger and the crew over there. I'm telling you, these are the best folks around, and they've got long and short-term leases on the equipment. Hey, you check it out today on the equipment you need. Not sure what you need? Hey, they can help you. You better believe it. K&R Rental on the Burley-Paul Highway, 678-3122. We have, I think, some of the finest guests that you could listen to today. We've got Dave Bego coming on the air at 9:06. We've got John Horvat coming on the air at 9:30. Dr. Tim Ball coming on at 10:06. And one of my favorites, Megan Barth, at 10:30 this morning. Oh, it's going to be good. By the way, don't forget, too, our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric And they do have all your heating and electrical needs. Now, that's not bragging. That's a fact. And almost 6 decades of serving you and heating, cooling, and electrical needs. And don't forget, if you haven't had your furnace checked out for the winter usage, you better give them a call. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. That number to call, 678-0459. Open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, where they provide warm winters and cool summers at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Tomorrow is the big day. We've got our lunch bunch, and I can't hardly wait to see all my friends. And you know what? Deanne and I both agree that once a month isn't enough to see all of our friends that come to lunch bunch. Man, it's just kind of a old family gathering right there at Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. And, of course, Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Whether you want breakfast or lunch or dinner or all the desserts, oh my goodness, anytime, all the time, it is great. Wonderful people serving you, and you're going to enjoy it, I know. Denny's Restaurant, and we'll have lunch bunch there tomorrow at 11:30. Don't forget, too, some of our lunch bunch sponsors include Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, and Denny's Restaurant. And that's tomorrow, lunch bunch at America's Diner, Denny's. This has turned into a complete foolish soap opera. I mean, I was watching the news last night, and I absolutely was astounded. I mean, absolutely taken aback by the changes, the transitions, the no I won't, no I will not, yes I will, no I won't. We, the people, are suffering for this absolute, complete foolishness that's going on in Washington, D.C. The Democrats and their continuing getting bigger and bigger manure pile, I don't know how else to say it. It's getting higher and deeper. Now this woman, Ms. Ford, says, no, I'm not going to testify. Now, yesterday, we all thought it was a slam dunk done deal, that there was going to be mutual testimony next Monday with Judge Kavanaugh and Ms. Ford. No. Now, this woman says that she's not going to testify or do or say anything until the FBI completes a complete investigation. My question would be, of what? Now, don't go running off without letting the bit hit you in the top of the cheeks there for a second. Here's the deal. She can't recall where or when or even who was supposedly at a party when this supposed sexual assault occurred. So if she can't recall the where, hold on, caller, the where or the when or the who, why and should the FBI investigate something that is so absolutely pie in the sky? It's insane. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, if they want a full FBI investigation on this Ford gal, what about Broderick? What about all the accusations against Bill that never did get investigated?
Absolutely.
The door swings two ways, and the Democrats seem to think it's only a one-way door.
Wheels turn Doug up a little bit when he's talking. You're going to have to ride the game a little bit. Doug, this thing is absolutely, completely out of hand. I don't know if this is going to be settled. I don't know. I said yesterday I thought Kavanaugh was in a lot of trouble to get his nomination approved for the Supreme Court. I think it's got to the point, as of this morning, that I don't think there's a snowball's chance in the oven that he's going to get a vote in favor of him. What are your thoughts? I mean, you follow this. You must have an opinion.
I think he's going to be confirmed. I think so. But there's a caveat. He's going to have this hanging over his head his whole term.
Yep.
And I feel that it should be investigated somewhat. And if these accusations are false, this young lady be put in jail. Feinstein, for sitting on it and doing the same thing she did, she should be banned from any committees and even thrown out of the Senate because of her tactics on presenting this.
Okay, let's talk about this just for a quick second. And again, Wheels, ride that gain over there. We're about 47 days from midterm elections. Gee golly, if they, the Republicans, don't say, okay, wait a minute. If you're not going to testify next Monday, and the FBI said they don't even want to get mixed up in something that is basically nothing more than hearsay. And Doug, I dare you to tell me I'm wrong on that, because it's all allegations and she doesn't even know the where, the when, or the who is there. And if they don't want to get involved in this thing and she doesn't testify next Monday, I say the vote should be next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, and the Republicans better start growing a backbone, tighten up their big boy pants, and march in and get this thing taken care of.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. I feel if the Democrats want a full investigation on this, good. Let's do the full investigation on the other side. And what about Keith Ellison and the allegations that are out? And there are recordings of the...
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Him. They are, and the young lady was on, and they said they are trying to bring her down and to insult her, and I can't think of some of the other words she used, but they discredit her.
Well, wait a minute. Stop a second. Hold the bus a second. How in the world can she cry about discreditation when she has been asked to testify? The Republicans, I feel, have been very forthright and said, okay, you want to testify? We'll hold the vote. We'll wait till next Monday after you testify, and then we'll proceed from there. And if it involves investigation, we'll do this, that, and they bent over backwards to appease this woman. She said yes, now she's saying no. I say, okay, if she doesn't testify, if she doesn't sit before that microphone and tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, throw it out. The vote should be had, and he should be confirmed.
Exactly. She does not want to go on the record under oath with these lies, because she knows if she lies to Congress, she could go to prison.
And rightfully so.
Exactly. And I still think if these are proven lies, I still think she should see some penalties or something.
I couldn't agree more. But, you know, the whole thing bears down on time. The Democrats are not stupid. They're very plottish, if you will, in laying this thing out so that it's going to go right smack dab into the midterms with possible delays. We might see that seat on the Supreme Court be vacant all the way through. And think about this, all the way through Trump's administration. It's possible.
It's possible. And that's for the Democrats do not care about this country or the people of this country. The only thing they care about is President Trump is exposing them for the frauds and the liars they are, and they're going to lose power, and they cannot stand to lose power, so they will do anything to maintain their power.
Isn't it totally disgusting that we, the people, are the ones that really are suffering?
Exactly. We are paying their wages to try to control us, and that's where we, the people, need to stand up come November. If you want higher taxes and you want President Trump to be brought up on, what they call it, mind went blank.
Well, all kinds of impeachment charges that are pie in the sky right now.
Yeah, impeachment. Then don't go out and vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't go out and vote, then you're voting for a Democrat.
Yeah, and we are in so much trouble with a platform that isn't a platform. It looks like Swiss cheese, and the likes of Elizabeth Warren and her now new idea to go after energy companies, and Hillary Clinton as the front man on behalf of her little mafia to go and subvert and subject Trump to anything and everything. This is insane. And I'm just absolutely at the end of my rope, at the knot, worrying about how dumb this country might be and trying to even think about creating a blue wave.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Warren's trying to do a carbon tax through the back door.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's basically what she's doing.
I've got another call, Doug, but give us your quick spiel about the senior centers, and then I got to run. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, everybody, let's do what we can to support our senior centers. Let's donate so they can help feed the seniors that are homebound. You know, they help build this country, so let's try to help take care of them.
All right. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. Always. Thank you very much. Boy, Wheels, we're getting a lot of feedback down the line this morning. Caller, I'll be right there, I promise. I just got to get this on. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley with Nick Greenwell and all of the best physical therapists in the business. I'm telling you, they are sharp. I'm telling you, they can help you. They help me. I'm telling you, they know all the exercises and, of course, the use of that hydrotherapy pool. I'm telling you, you better call the number right now at 678-1191. That number again, 678-1191, to have people help you get back to being you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, 678-1191. Caller, I'll be right there. I got to remind everybody the Bennett Boys Auction Service is going to have the big Ambrose auction this Saturday coming up at 11 o'clock in Filer at 4050 North, 2100 East. Look for the signs. Lunch by the Cook Shack. They're going to have shop equipment and tools and engines and trailer and guns and saddles and sporting equipment. Woo! Boy, this is going to be a good sale. Lawn and garden items, everything, and it's going to start at 11 a.m. this Saturday at the Ambrose Auction, and that's at 4050 North, 2100 East of Filer, and this sale managed by the Bennett Boys. Auction service, no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, yep, they sell them all. Caller, good morning, you're on the air. Thank you for your patience.
Good morning, Deb.
Yes, sir.
How do you investigate a nothing burger? I don't think there's any way you can investigate that. She doesn't remember where it was when it happened. Now, on Fox last night, they had this woman come on there, and I really admire her for her bravery. She said she was raped 20 years ago, and she says, I can remember every single moment of that. If it's that devastating, why can't this other gal remember anything?
Well, now, wait a minute, Keith. Alcohol, according to some of the first parts of the story, played a big part in what happened, supposedly, on that night. And supposedly she also, Ms. Ford, was a little bit more than intoxicated. But 35 years. 35 years and nothing has come out. Nothing has come out. And this man, Kavanaugh, a judge that has had the highest of reputations, and nothing came out just prior to the vote to solidify his nomination. I'm not buying that dead fish.
No, absolutely not. And she can't remember these things. She didn't report anything to the authorities. They said the first thing you do is you go to your area authorities, whether it be police, sheriff's department, or that sort of thing. And then, if it gets to be larger than that, then it's turned over to the FBI.
Yeah.
But she's trying to start at the top and work her way down, and she's almost down.
You know, I'm just so sick of the sleaze. And I'm so worried about, and again, Wheels, you've got to cut back on that feedback a little bit. Again, I'm still worried about Kavanaugh's family, his children, and his wife, and their family as a whole, her family, his family. This is just destroying a good man by, and I'm just going to come out and say how I feel, a woman that has been coerced and used and arm twisted by the Democrats to falsify an allegation.
You are talking about a party that hates America, hates the American way, and all that kind of stuff, because it's nothing but a Democratic strategy to stall this off as long as they could. And you were absolutely right. This could go clear through Trump's presidency in this term.
Oh, yeah. If Ginsburg and some others decide to leave the court with health reasons, and let's face it, that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's not exactly a young lady anymore. I mean, what is she, almost 90? And anything and everything can happen. What happens with the one seat vacant by, of course, Kavanaugh not being confirmed, and then the possibility of one or two more? We could be looking at a Supreme Court that is just absolutely nothing but empty chairs, my friend.
Well, this gal on the Supreme Court, even at her age and everything, she has made the not a brash statement, but a true statement of why are they treating this man this way.
Yeah.
It is unfair, and she knows it because she went through a confirmation, her and Alita.
Well, all of them have.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have to beleaguer the fact. We don't have to beleaguer the fact that they have to go through a very close scrutiny. I'm not objecting to that. You're not either. But the point is, right up to the point of the vote, and then to have this kind of a huge question mark hanging over it because of allegations, and the person making the allegations can't even remember where, when, or who. Give me a break. I'm not buying this. And here's something to consider, Keith. This Me Too movement in this country right now is absolutely out of control. Women can make allegations about men, and that male, his life might as well go through the bottom of the hangman's deck, because there's no way they can do anything or say anything to clear their name.
Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Democratic Party is the party of, don't confuse me with the facts. My mind is made up.
I agree. Thank you so much for your call this morning. I appreciate it. God bless you, man. Thanks. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
I want to remind you that on Mondays, we give away a dozen delicious cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox at 530 East Street in Rupert, right on the square. Oh, what a restaurant. Oh, what a bakery. And by the way, Deanne found out that they're making those delicious raspberry cookies. Oh, they are good. Don't forget Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street on the square in Rupert. Great bakery and fantastic restaurant serving you. Also want to remind you at Ramsey Heating and Electric, they're very proud to offer service you can trust, along with Lennox products that help keep you comfortable and save you money, too. Ramsey Heating and Electric is offering up to $1,600 in rebates on brand new Lennox systems, so call them today at 678-0459 or visit them online at ramseysonline.com. Proudly offering Lennox products, just another way to make you feel better. Okay, what do you folks, I'd like to hear from some ladies. I really would. This whole thing is just, it's the soap opera. It's an absolute, complete, foolish soap opera. Will you testify? Yes, I will. Okay, we'll make up everything in regards to you. You're testifying. We'll do it next Monday. Then, all of a sudden, last night, no. She says she's not going to testify. Now, don't tell me anybody out there in Radio Land, that all of a sudden somebody didn't get a hold of her from the Democratic Party leadership and or council and say, wait a minute, this is going too fast. If you testify next Monday, maybe it'll go against us. So what we want you to say is that you won't testify next Monday, but you'll testify after a very thorough, elongated FBI investigation. Oh, okay. I'll tell them that. We are only about, 47 days till the midterms? And the Democrats are milking this cow to not only do harm to Kavanaugh, but to hate Trump. Come on, folks. You got to see this. I know most of my listeners do. This is a disgusting, drag your feet in the sand stall. That's all it is. And pathetically, a man and a woman, husband, wife, father, mother, and their kids are going to really suffer. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. It's just such a sick, pathetic situation. While I'm waiting for your call to come in, I really want to hear from you folks on this. This is America at its lowest. Barry Equipment and Rental Sales Service and Parts, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley and 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls and the Nampa location. And they do have all the big, strong Doosan equipment. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you what. And all the Bobcats, they've got all the Bobcat excavators, new and used, all shapes and sizes. I mean, when it comes to equipment rentals and retail equipment sales, they are waiting right now to serve you. The Burley location with Juan, great young guy, and has all kinds of information for you. Eli in Twin Falls, that guy is sharp. And, of course, the Nampa location. 3 locations, Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts. You get a hold of them today, Barry Equipment and Rental. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. When you make an allegation, one would think you've got absolute substantiated proof. When you accuse someone of something, you better have your portfolio filled with facts. Where are they? Where are they? And don't give me this garbage. Well, and I heard this on another network last night. I don't know who the woman was, but she was making excuses for Ms. Ford, saying, well, she's had a hard life. She's been traumatized, and she can't remember all the various facts. But they're there. They're there. She's had it tough. She's had to have counseling. Oh, my gosh, I wanted to take my boots off because they were getting dirty. It was making me sick. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. We keep getting letters in the mail from the Republican Party wanting donations. You know what? Until they become bulldogs or pit bulls, they're going to get nothing. We've got a bunch of gutless Republicans that will sit back and let the Democrats dump all over them and us. Evidently, they're pretty well placed in where they're at right now, getting all the benefits and all the pay raises, and they're above the problems that you and I are facing.
Yeah. You know, Tony, what you said is very true, and I'm not on this program to make friends. I'm on this program to be honest and truthful about the various stories that come up in the news. I'm not on this program to remain friends or create a bond with the Republicans that are in office. I don't care if it's Jim Risch. I don't care if it's Crapo. I don't care who it is. I'm not going to just say things that are going to make them look and feel good and go, oh boy, that Zeb, he's a great guy. When they deserve criticism, I'm going to give it to him, and I'm going to give it to him right now in accordance with what you just said. It's time to grow a backbone. Stand up. You're in power. You have the House. You have the Senate. Stand up. Walk over. Don't step around. Walk over the Democrats and get the job done for us.
Well, evidently, you got a bunch of cream puffs up there that enjoy the position that they're in. They're getting all the notoriety as wonderful people. And you and I are taking the beating from the Democrats that these people should be in between us and the Democrats.
Absolutely. You know, I haven't heard, and this is what really drives me nuts, Tony. This is going to sound boastful, but I'm going to tell you the facts. This program is the most listened to program in its time slot. And do you suppose, I'm not going to go begging to have Crapo on. I'm not going to go begging to have Risch on. I'm not going to go begging to have any politician on. They should know that they owe their constituents an explanation of what's going on. They or their representatives should be calling me to arrange times. I'm not going to chase the car. Does that make sense?
That's okay. Go ahead.
No, I said, does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we're dealing with a bunch of animals when we're dealing with the Democratic Party. So unless the Republican Party is going to get down and dirty and end up being worse than they are, we're going nowhere.
Yeah. But this deal, I mean, you don't have to be a graduate of Harvard or Yale to sit back and say, oh, no, wait a minute. We're just days away from the voting nomination of Mr. Kavanaugh to be on the Supreme Court. And all of a sudden, out of the woodwork, from 35 years ago, comes a woman that says she can't remember where or when or who was there, but yes, she was sexually molested, and she thinks it was Brett Kavanaugh. Stop everything, stop the presses, throw him out of the chance to be a Supreme Court justice. Good gosh, how dumb are we?
Why isn't a lawsuit being brought against this woman? And where is her proof? And does she have any witnesses? We know who's behind it and what's going on.
I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated for my family. I'm frustrated for yours and everybody else's out there because this is garbage. This is absolute stinky garbage that is making America look like less and be less to the rest of the world. This should not be happening.
Red Brigade again.
You got it. Hey, my friend, thank you for calling in. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Zip. Bye.
You know, this is insane. And, you know, naturally, we'll never hear from any of the liberals out there or the Democrats because, oh, they run and hide. I've invited them on the program, and it's really going to be interesting during election time because of the fairness policy. I will invite them on the air. It will be extremely interesting to see who will accept. I wonder. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I am very proud to say that on Tuesdays we have a program like yesterday called Stoats Ag Minutes, put on by our friends at Stoats Equipment Company, your John Deere dealer, at 119 Overland in Burley. They do make your life easier. Great people, great equipment, your John Deere dealer serving you. Don't forget, at 9:46 on Tuesdays, Stoats Equipment Ag Minute. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, in accordance with the filth and the vile and the absolute brainless things that are going on, hold on, caller, I'll be right there, I promise. These folks deserve what they got. These folks deserve what they get. The Emmys, which I won't watch any of the award shows. I think they're absolutely fraudulent. The Emmys hit an all-time low for ratings. Good for that. Maybe they'll take the doggone program off the air. And they're really deserving the negativity because of the way they piled on and just were rancid about their comments about Christians and also our president. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, you wanted to comment. I ran into a friend just a couple of days ago, and I still am hurting and shocked to find out that she is a Democrat, that she listens to the Democratic shows. She doesn't listen to Fox, and it's almost like she has a hatred for Trump because, of all the other things that she hears. But to think that her family could suffer because of her decisions to vote for the Democratic Party.
What goodness, and I underline the word goodness when I throw this question at you, what goodness or what benefit or what future benefit is there to voting for a Democrat to take over possibly the House and the Senate? What goodness? I mean, are we going to go back to the Obama administration with higher taxes and just absolute nothingness? Are we going to go back and are we going to see just absolutely our economy go back on its ears, slow the gears down and reverse them? What goodness is there going to be in trying to go back to an Obama era type politics?
There isn't any good. And yet I think that the Democratic Party lies. They do anything they can to try to make, and yet when you see the abortions taking place, how many families have been destroyed because of that situation?
Well, when we have the Democratic National Convention and they basically, paraphrasing what happened, they basically denounce Christianity and they denounce religion, and then we see the likes of their labors, like at the Emmys the other night, where they were coming out with absolute ridiculous negative statements against Jesus. I can't support any party that would be against religion and against Christianity. I'm finding it hard to think that there are even people living here that could denounce or wouldn't denounce the Democratic Party.
Oh, how true. That is so sad. I just, you don't try to battle with friends, over politics, but yet I don't know how to reach a person that is so strongly tainted by this, that you can't change their thinking.
The thing is, I think you'll agree with this, that some of the stalwart Democrats, even here in this area, are still going back to the 60s and 70s Democrats and not the Democrats of today. Not the ones that are leaning toward socialism. Not the ones that are all for gay rights. Not the ones that want to get rid of our economy and start taxing everybody and put a lot of businesses into a tailspin. I honestly think they're just Democrats in name only because they're proud of the name Democrat from the past, but they're not looking realistically as to what they stand for today.
I think you're absolutely right. That is so true that they, when you look back the way things used to be and to see how they are now, and this socialistic idea, it is so wrong.
It is.
And, to try to tell somebody, how would you like it if you were told that you have a big house and so you need to rent out or you need to allow these people to come in and live with you because you have so much?
Absolutely. You've hit the nail right on the head. Hey, God bless you for your call. I enjoyed our visit. Thank you.
You're sure welcome.
All right, have a great day. Thank you. Nice lady right there, and very well informed. And right now, before I take another call, I've got to get a weather forecast on here. And it's brought to you by my friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Dr. Pickup has written a really nice book called Communication Tips for Happier Relationships. And she said, ask questions to make your communication partner is understanding your message. Don't just ask, did you hear me? Rephrase what you said and ask open-ended questions. Yeah, all of these kind of things are in this book. It's really interesting and very well done. Don't forget, for a hearing screening, you get a hold of Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids today with Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell serving you. The number to call for the appointment? Easy. 312-0957. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Look at your weather forecast as we hit midweek stride. Most of the day is going to be nice. Maybe some storm action by this afternoon and early evening hours, and then back to business as usual and sunny skies for the rest of the week. So here's your weather forecast for today. Mostly sunny skies, expecting a high of 75, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. By tonight, we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Partly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 43. Winds are going to gust right around 20 miles an hour out of the west-southwest. By tomorrow morning, we're expecting sunny skies, high of 70, clear skies for tomorrow night with a low of 40. By Friday, sunny skies, back up to 77, and then for Saturday, sunny skies, back up to 80. That's your weather forecast for Zebeth Ranch.
Appreciate it, Gina. Thank you very much. Job well done again, as usual. Our weather brought to you this hour by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Please call them today. Make an appointment. The number 312-0957. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. The concern that I have with Mr. Kavanaugh is that when he is appointed, that the Democrats will use all of this garbage that they've thrown out to see if what sticks to the wall. And any judgment that he makes, they will say, see, remember when she accused him of being a rapist or a party guy or whatever? They're going to use all that stuff against him later. That's what this is for. It's not necessarily to totally destroy the man now. They're all going to use it for later on, too.
Well, there's no question that the Democrats will, if he gets the nomination and it's approved by vote to go to the Supreme Court, they will try to jade each and every performance and each and every writ that he performs while being a Supreme Court justice. They will go after and keep denigrating him and the entire court. However, it's the current that really bothers me. What's happening to his family? What's happening to his daughters? Over nothing more than hearsay and absolutely faulty Swiss cheese allegations. I'm sick of this stuff.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. If this happened 35 years ago, why wasn't it important then? And why are there not more details? And I don't know about you, but I don't remember details from 35 years ago. Doesn't happen.
My wife has accused me.
I sit down and I go back and look at it.
Yeah. My wife has accused me, Sharon, of not remembering what was said 20 minutes ago.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah. But the whole point is...
food.
Yeah.
Well, dadgum, how do they expect them to remember something from 35 years ago? And her allegations are so vague. And I am frustrated that this is what our country is doing, that they're grasping at straws in Washington, D.C., but we're seeing it on all levels of government, that people, when they get miffed at somebody because they're told no or whatever, then they're using these types of allegations falsely to destroy people. Now who are they going to get to run for office if they do this? Then what will we have? Is that how we're going to get everything changed over to communism and socialism, because there is nobody there willing to step up to the plate because they don't want to go through this kind of garbage?
Why would anyone want to put themselves, their wife or their spouse, their children? Why would you want to have this kind of scrutiny? And right now, the Kavanaugh family, sitting at home, watching the news, listening to the news, reading the newspaper, and this woman, Ms. Ford, making allegations, I can't remember where, I can't remember when, I can't remember who actually was in the room. All of these are allegations that have already tainted that family, and they never will get over it.
Exactly. And let me ask you, I don't know, or state, I don't know of anyone that doesn't have some kind of skeleton in their closet somewhere.
I'll tell you what, anybody that says they do not or advocates that they do not, look out when you hear some bones jiggling that are in their closet.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So how dare they make those kinds of accusations unless they really and truly believe they are so protected from the law because of the corruption
Absolutely.
Of our legal system.
Well, I tell you what, this is a filthy, filthy soap opera, and nobody's going to change my mind. And the Democrats, I guess, when all this is said and done and the dust is settled, I guess they will be so proud that they did this. And I find this to be one of the most heinous acts that I've ever heard of in my life.
You know, and on the other hand, conversely, the thing that really, really ticks me off is not the fact that the Democrats are doing this, but that the Republicans are not standing up and stop it.
I totally agree with you. Get a backbone, get a spine, Republicans. And like I've said many times on this program, do not step around, but step over the opposition. That's the way I feel.
Exactly.
Sharon, thank you.
Thanks for letting me dance.
All right, have a good day. Thank you very, very much.
Bye-bye.
Once again, I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, offering service you can trust along with Lennox products that help keep you comfortable and save you money. This fall, Ramsey Heating and Electric is offering up to $1,600 in rebates on brand new Lennox systems. Call them today at 678-0459 or visit them online at ramseysonline.com. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning. It's a Yummy Man. Today at the Senior Center, we're having birthday and anniversary dinner, turkey dressing, mashed taters, gravy, vegetable, and cake.
What kind of yummy cake?
Oh, chocolate cake.
Okay. All right, Joe, we'll send them over to the Senior Junction. And what about somebody that wants to take a meal home? Can they do that yet?
Yes, if they'll call in, they'll have it ready for you at 12 o'clock.
Well, I'll tell you.
Everybody's welcome, and tomorrow it's potato bar.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Joe, I missed you last week. I thought maybe you flew out of the country or something, but it's good to have you back. I missed the Yummy Man.
I just had a great time in Michigan, and had a great time, and I'm ready to be back and get with it.
What part of Michigan, Joe?
Jackson, which is about 70 miles straight west of Detroit.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm very familiar with that country back there. I used to do a lot of fishing up in the Upper Peninsula, up by Escanaba, etc., and so I know the state of Michigan really well. Good to have you back, though.
Thank you. Good to be back.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Senior Junction and the Yummy Man. Thank you, Joe. Calls welcome 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There's a new phrase out, and this is really something. I heard about helicopter parents hovering over their children all the time. Well, now there's a new phrase that's been coined. I can't remember who or how it was put together, but the new phrase is, instead of helicopter parents, now there are lawnmower parents. And these parents mow down all the obstacles for their children to have a wonderful life with no problems. Isn't that great? They're called lawnmower parents. Don't they realize, honestly, that by either being helicopter parents or lawnmower parents to not have any obstacles in their children's way, they're actually creating an obstacle? They are. They're creating an obstacle that their children don't know how to handle obstacles. And that's the biggest obstacle, because of the obstacle called the lawnmower parents. Moms and dads that, quite frankly, are idiots to make sure that little Susie and Johnny have no problems. Let them have the problems. Let them try to cure the problems on their own. Let's give a great big shout-out, thank you, to our friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations with a great big fall tire sale going on right now. I'm talking about a big fall tire sale going on right now. And I urge you to get in there for your car, your pickup, your SUVs. On sale for your car, for instance, they got the Eclipse tire, premium traction, superior ride quality. Check it out. Along with the best in brake service and front end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries. Every location really taking care of you with also the best in service. They really care. Let's talk about who they are. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, wonderful Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline and Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're going to take a little break, come back with Dave Bigo at 9:06. Have a good day. We'll be back in 7. Good morning, and welcome back, hour number 2 on this Wednesday, September 19th. Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and a big fall tire sale going on right now, and including some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's have this good word for Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
Oh, Western Way Services, they are always at your disposal. A little fall cleanup going on right now, huh? Well, maybe you need a dumpster. They've got dumpsters in various sizes, and maybe you're cleaning things out, Thanksgiving around the corner, and yes, you need to start talking about Christmas, so clean it up, the basement, the garage, whatever. Call them today at 734-6969. Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Want to remind you, too, on Thursdays we have a segment called Cassia Regional Hospital, and we meet some of the absolutely dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Your friends, your neighbors, Cassia Regional Hospital, and believe me, it's true. Quality care close to home. That's tomorrow on Thursday at 9:17, Cassia Regional Hospital. Oh, let's see, what else have I got here real fast before I go to Dave Bigo. I want to remind you that I deal only in facts, not fairy tales. And when I tell you the facts about this business, this person, it's the truth. Save on Shells, the best selection of new or used shells. They can custom fit any truck on the road. They did. They fit mine. Beautiful. Save on Shells at 1827 Overland and Burley. The number to call, Anthony, 312-1525. That number again, 312-1525, located at 1827 Overland and Burley. Stop in, see him today. Right now, my buddy, from back in Indianapolis, Indiana, Dave Bigo. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I just celebrated my 65th birthday yesterday.
65?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were closer to my age. You're just a pup.
I'm just a pup.
All right, here we go. Dave, this is worth a lot of discussion because I'm just absolutely sickened. I said what's going on with the Democratic Party, what's going on with these completely Swiss cheese allegations by Ms. Ford are just adding to the depth and height of the Democratic manure pile. What are your thoughts about what's going on with Judge Kavanaugh?
I'm not surprised at all, Zeb. As I've said many times, I've been through this. And these are the tactics that the SEIU used against us. And, they went and found people that would say bad things about us and me. And, they're out all the time trying to dig up stuff. And they don't care whether it's true or not. All it is an opportunity, a chance for them to try and bring down whoever they're going after. And they'll use anything, and they won't research it. They don't care if it's facts or not. And we're going to continue to see this, and it's going to get worse as we go through, this process with Kavanaugh and with the elections coming up. And the Democrats and the unions, who are hand in hand all the time, are desperate, and desperate people do desperate things.
Well, right there, you're on the money. Desperate people do desperate things. I cannot believe that America can't see through the smokescreen of a woman that can't recall where, can't recall when, can't recall exactly who was there when this alleged assault took place, but yet she gets the right to sit back and be in the driver's seat with the Democrats and demand the stalling of this nomination vote and possibly have the vote go past the midterm elections. We might not even see that seat filled for the rest of this year going into 2019.
Well, man, that's their objective. They want to see if they can get the majority in the House and Senate, and so they can control, because they want the Supreme Court to head back towards more liberal people, and this is what they do. And and what you were talking about, this gal, it's the same. If you read my book, I had meetings. They used Catholic priests against us and other priests against us from all different religions. And having a meeting with them one day, my daughter and I walked in and we introduced ourselves and we all sat down. And the first thing that the guy to my right said was, "We want you to sign the neutrality agreement," which, if you remember, that takes your employees' rights away to a secret ballot election and goes to card checks.
Right.
It's forced unionism. And I just looked at him and real calmly said, "Well, tell me, sir, have you ever read a neutrality agreement?" And he goes, "No." And he just bowed his head down and wouldn't look at me and said, "Next." And he wouldn't talk the rest of the time. And this is what you have to do to these people, is you have to expose them to the fact that they really don't know what's going on.
Well, here's the deal, Dave, and you know a lot of the hierarchy in our administration right now. You said you've met Vice President Pence, etc. I'm going to say this, and if it offends somebody, I don't care, because it's the way I feel. I think the Republicans are the leaders in the House. They're supposed to be the leaders in the Senate. They have the power, and yet they're being dictated to by a completely fractured Democratic Party that is grabbing at straws that are blowing by them in the wind and using this woman and transitioning everything she possibly says or does to their benefit. Well, I'll testify. Well, now, wait a minute. Don't testify. We can elongate this thing a little bit more if you say you'll testify after a complete FBI investigation. Dave, this is nuts.
Well, it is, and it's just their way of continuing this process and keeping it out there the whole time. And, him not getting approved for the Supreme Court until after the election, and also of continuing to go out there and throwing out things and attacking the the Trump administration and Kavanaugh and all that kind of stuff. And the problem is, on the Republican side, you have too many of them that don't have backbones.
Yep.
They won't stand up and face these people. And again, do it in a professional manner, and make sure that you expose them and their lies. And we have to do that, and that's how you beat these people. And that's what the Republicans need to do. But because the election's coming up, and they're afraid they're going to lose votes if they do anything like that, they're just laying back and not doing anything.
Okay, while I'm talking, I think you have a problem with a cell phone that will not be quiet, so I'll let you turn that off.
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Okay. I couldn't help. I was listening to the tune. I didn't recognize it. It's different from mine. So, but you know,
I've got a lot of things going on today, and people call me. It's been a crazy morning so far, but you know. Got a lot of things to do.
But you know something, Dave? In all honesty, there's something that can never be rebuilt out of this mess. It's gone. It's dead. It's laying in the corner forever, like a completely stained white shirt. And that is the reputation of Kavanaugh and his family's worries about this witch hunt. Their feelings and his going back to my dad's going to be a Supreme Court justice. Ooh, wait a minute. What a filthy stain they're throwing at him. That can never be changed, never be altered, and this family's going to be hurt forever.
Well, Zeb, that's true to a point. But, you know, again, we went through the same thing. I mean, they had the press on their side, and the press throwing dirty things out about me and my family and stuff like that. But as we went through it and we kept exposing things and showing that these people were wrong and the lies, all that stuff kind of went away. And, you know, it's this is what you got to do to these guys. And the problem is, and I say this in my book too, my second book, because I had a businessman from Fort Wayne come down and talk to me about my first book. He says, Dave, I respect you for how you did this and what you did and standing up and that you had the backbone. He says, the problem in our country is, you know, 95% of the business people or people in Congress or the House don't have the backbone to stand up, and we need to get the backbone.
Well, that's true, but now let's look at this thing from, first she said she's going to testify. So the Republicans said, well, we'll do this, we'll stop the vote, we'll have the testifying next Monday, and everything can go on from there. Oh, but then, no, somebody got her by the arm and said, no, we can slow this thing down a lot more if you'll ask the FBI to investigate a full investigation. Dave, the FBI does not want to get involved with this type of thing. It's not a federal quote-unquote crime, alleged crime, and this thing just stinks. It stinks because nothing's going to get done, and I lay a lot of the blame, almost 70-30, on the Republicans for not saying, okay, if she's not going to testify next Monday, we're going to have the vote next Tuesday. That's it. Cut and dried. Get out of the way. We're coming through.
Well, and this is what you got to do. You got to move forward and do the right things and not bow down to these people. And again, as I keep saying, it comes to backbone, and they've got to stand up and get a backbone. And I'm afraid, though, Zeb, that it isn't going to happen because they're just afraid that it's going to affect them in the upcoming election and everything else.
You know, why would anybody, and you're a good person to talk to about this because you're a large businessman, lots of employees, lots of personalities. Why would anybody, after seeing what's going on with this Kavanaugh nomination, and knowing that there's possibly going to be one or two more seats open and vacated on the Supreme Court within a very near future, whoa, why would you ever want to throw your name into the hat to possibly run for that position?
Well, you know, that's a tough thing. But, again, you need good people that are strong enough that are willing to do that. And, you know, Kavanaugh, from everything I've seen, comes across well. And he's had a good background in that. And he's willing to stand up and go through it. And those are the type of people we need on the Supreme Court. And, So it's going to be interesting. But again, I'll go back, and I've talked to many people about this, and I'm going to keep saying this all the time, is in Washington, we need term limits. We need people to be in the Senate and the House, limited to a couple terms and out. And actually, people that are in the government agencies like the FBI and that, they need to be in there for certain terms and move out, because we need people in Washington that are there for the American people.
I couldn't agree more. But regarding term limits, you know as well as I do, that's going to be an awful big elephant to push into a closet. How are we going to get it done?
Well, I think our president has to bring it up and push for it and get people behind him. Because I'll tell you what, I am surprised all the time. The more I'm hearing people say that we need that, because people are getting tired of the politics in this country and the political correctness and all these stuff that's going on. They want America to get back the way it used to be.
Dave, I wanted to ask you about something else, and we can joke about a lot of situations, but this is really serious to me because it means so much to me and my family. But now the networks, whether it's ESPN, ABC, NBC, whatever, it doesn't make any difference. Now they are covering up and hiding the national anthem. They're hiding it. And they're either doing it with their announcers talking over it with pregame hype, or they're having elongated commercial breaks. And it was very, very noticeable last Sunday evening with the game, covering it up. And what are your thoughts on this? I, as an American citizen that is proud of my flag, proud of our military, and so thankful for the people that have given their all so that I can enjoy the best of this world, and that's the United States of America, and we're letting these sleazy networks hide our national anthem?
I know, it's a bit sad, but behind the scenes, the media is being controlled by the far left and the unions, and they want to turn this into a socialistic, communistic country, because they want a one world order, and that's what this is all about. And to do that, they got to bring down America, and that's what they're trying to do. And but their logic makes no sense at all. And, they're out there telling people, we're going to do this for you, we're going to have minimum wage, and we're going to do all this stuff. But when you look at it and how, they put minimum wage in a socialistic country like Venezuela and Cuba and like that, and this past week, I think 50% of the businesses in Venezuela closed down because of the hike in minimum wage, and now people don't have jobs at all.
Yeah.
They don't understand free market and capitalism, how it works to make this country great. And because they don't understand, they can't be successful in it. So they just want to control us.
Well, that's all well and good, and I agree with you that they're trying to do the control, but I, as a citizen, and I've sent letters to the networks, and I demand, I shouldn't say I demand, I ask of you and everyone to send letters of condemnation to the networks in regards to covering up our national anthem. And then when you have the likes of the sleazy, little, worthless Bill Maher from HBO coming out and saying basically, and I'm going to shelter some of the words, that this patriotism BS with the military and our anthem and our flag, I just makes me fighting mad, Dave. I cannot handle the way we're sliding down into the liberal cesspool that they've created in America.
Well, I agree with you 100%, and these people aren't going to stop because they're being controlled behind the scenes and being paid behind the scenes to do these things, and they don't get it. They just don't get it.
You know, another issue that I wanted to talk to you about is the openly being denigrating Christians. And the other night, I won't watch award shows. I find them to be a complete waste of time. But I did see all the clips that were on the news, and I did read about it, and I had some of my people back in D.C. send me the information. But the hosts of the Emmy Awards denigrating Christians and Donald Trump and coming out and saying the only people that really thank Jesus are the Republicans and the crackheads. I mean, the denigration of Christianity, this has got to stop. I mean, we're sitting back and turning our cheeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 times. I'm sick of turning the other cheek, and it's time to go on the offense and say enough is enough.
Well, and I agree with you, but there's a lot of liberals in the different churches that are behind all this stuff because they think socialism's good, because they think, we need to give everybody all this stuff and do these things for them and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't work. And what you have to do is you have to incentivize people to go out and work and do the right things and be proud of their country and stand up for this country, because it does great things for people. Where else in the world do people live as well as they do in this country?
Absolutely. Nowhere, and I'm surprised that these mentally, they call themselves intellectuals, haven't got the sense that God gave a billy goat to understand that this is the greatest country ever, enhancing their ability to add to their checkbook and their bank account. I don't understand why they keep tearing it down.
Well, like I say, they're being controlled behind the scenes, and they're intimidated and threatened and everything. And I've seen all this stuff. I understand what the program is and what their tactics are, and people got to wake up and understand. And I'll be honest with you, Zeb, more people that have read my book are understanding that.
Well, your books are excellent books. And by the way, we haven't plugged them. I hate to use the word plug, but that's basically what we're going to do. The Devil at My Doorstep, The Devil at Our Doorstep. I mean, the concepts are there in black and white so that people can understand how evil many of the unions are and how despicable they treated you, but you overcame that. Give us kind of a thumbnail sketch about the books in case people really want to get a hold of them. They're still available and very, very well worth the read.
Yeah, well, the first one, The Devil at My Doorstep, I rewrote that into the second one, The Devil at Our Doorstep, so that's really the one to read. And it really exposes what's going on in this country and the tactics of the SEIU, is one of the biggest unions in the country, and their political allies, who are the Democrats. And, it also exposes in the book that the President Obama was part of the SEIU when he started running for the presidential office, and that why Glenn Beck's not at Fox anymore. And it really clarifies for you what their tactics are, that the tactics they use, things they do, and that they're controlling the press behind the scenes and other things. And America needs to wake up to this stuff.
Dave, I always look forward to having you on the program on Wednesdays. I certainly wish you the very best. And by the way, what about the Indianapolis Colts? Are they looking any better?
Oh, yeah, they won, and so did the Packers, so it was a good weekend.
Yeah, but wait a minute. What good is a tie? I mean, a tie is like going to the prom with your sister, is it not?
I guess I hadn't thought about that way. That's a good way of looking at it.
Oh, my goodness. Ties in the professional ranks? That's ridiculous. They'd be better off with, I think, setting up the 2 field goal kickers and see who can kick from the farthest in no time or anything. But a tie? That's a waste of time and energy and a dent in the helmet.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
All right, my friend. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. Have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay, you too.
Thank you. Dave Bego, Indianapolis, Indiana. I really appreciate him being on the program. Holy moly. Foley, I want to tell you, too, about our dear friends over at Hanson Mortuary with Joel Heward, his family, and the staff. They really care about you and your family. When there's the passing of a loved one, I mean, they want to provide the families they serve with the best possible support and comfort, and always, always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert, and the number to call, 436-5636. Please, we all should get the information on pre-planning of funerals to save a lot of the worry and the stress from our families. Hanson Mortuary at 436-5636 with Joel Heward. And Joel also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Oh, my. And once again, we get a chance here before the break to talk about all your dogs and kitty cats. Yes, sirree, and your horses and your dairy cattle, everything. I'm telling you what, Ark Animal Hospital. Mm-hmm. They really are serving you. Dr. Bill, Dr. Jordan, the whole crew. And I urge you to make sure that your pets are, you got things planned out for the fall and the winter with the dropping temperatures and everything. Make sure that they've got good shelter, etc. And if you notice that they're just not feeling up to par, take them into the best. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. And the number to call, 678-1177. Mixed animal practice, meaning large or small. They care for and love them all and want them to stay healthy. Ark Animal Hospital in Hayburn, where they have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Absolutely. In just a very few minutes, I dropped my black ink pen on the floor, and now I'm having to use red ink. I don't like using red ink, but I have to until I can crawl under my desk and get my other ink pen. I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland and Burley. Window coverings, 40% off. And my lovely bride just came in, and she's going to find my ink pen for me. And they've got new carpet and luxury vinyl flooring and a closeout on certain mattresses and special prices on furniture. They know you're going to be spending a lot more time in the house during the winter months, fall and winter months, and they want you to be comfortable. So stop in, thank you, Deanne, and check it out at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley, serving you. And real quick, I know I'm rambling on like an old phonograph here, but I just want to remind everybody, too, about our friends at Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Ho, ho, ho! This is where the fun is sold. You know what? It's time to winterize your jet skis. Don't just set them in the garage and say, well, see you next spring and summer. No, you better winterize them right now. And don't forget, too, all the snowmobiles are on display at Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh, I know it. You're saying, snow? Well, yes, it's time to think about it. And believe me, they've still got all the four-wheelers, the 4x4s on the floor. Let me tell you, they got all the ATVs. All the side-by-sides, still plenty of time to get up in the hills and enjoy the beauty of southern Idaho. Stop in and see them today. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and this is where the fun is sold. I get a chance right now to visit with a gentleman that I really enjoy on this program, and his name is John Horvat. John, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good. Great to be on the show.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you back on the program. And before we go any further, I want you to give a great big shout-out to your book, Return to Order. I'd like you to give us a little thumbnail sketch about that one more time.
Yes, Return to Order is a book that helps people understand better where we went wrong in our culture and in our economy and where we need to go, especially from the point of view of the God-given institutions of family, faith, and community. And you can get that at returntoorder.org. That's the website. So that's my shout-out there.
Yeah, but John, when you started off your sentence and you said where we went wrong, I mean, how big is this book? Is it the size of Tolstoy's War and Peace? We did a lot of things wrong.
No, it's not that. Well, I mean, it's about 300, 400. It's about 400 pages, but it's very readable. You don't have to be an economist. I'm not an economist, so it's just a commentary on our society, but also trying to look at solutions, because we need to look at solutions. You just can't think all the time about how bad society is.
Well, that's true, but John, I don't know how old you are. I'm 70. And the days of the Saturday Evening Post are over. The families sitting around the table having supper. The families getting up on Sunday morning and going to church. The families going to the lake or whatever as a family. Boy, I want to see that come back. And one of my taglines at the end of my show every day is, the way things were are the way things ought to be. And quite frankly, I'll stand behind that. I think what was in the past needs to be brought now to the future.
Well, definitely, and these things are not foreign things to people. I mean, this is part of the natural way things are. The family is the natural institution that has always appeared everywhere and at every time. So it's not something new that we're offering, or something old that will that's lost its relevance. The family is always relevant and will always be relevant, and we will go back to the family. That's the only place we have to go back to.
John, I don't mean to make this sound like a simplistic question, but it's a question that I think needs to be answered honestly. Where in the world did we fall apart and lose our sense of morality and right and wrong?
Well, I mean, definitely the 60s was a turning point, but I think the 60s just didn't come all of a sudden. It was prepared by the 50s. The huge economic growth, the having everything, and just the frenetic intemperance of just wanting everything now instantly, without consequences. So I think definitely there's where we can look at it as a catalyst, a point when things really turned.
But how do we stop this bus that I've said is going downhill without a steering wheel? How do we stop this bus, get off, analyze the problem, and start doing things the right and the ethical way?
Yeah, I think that is the point. I mean, I don't think you're going to get all society to do that, because everybody's on what I call a cruise ship mentality. And as long as the party is going, a lot of them just will not listen to you. But I think there are a lot of people out there that are concerned and grieve for the nation, and those people are important. I think they're more than you realize, and I think we need to think in those terms, that these are the seeds for the future that need to be cultivated and helped, and that's what I think at least.
I will not. I mentioned this to the guest I had on the last half hour, Dave Bego, back in Indiana. But I will not watch awards programs. I find them to be absolutely a waste of time, and also very denigrating to Christianity and our society. And that was proven true again at the Emmy Awards the other night, where the hosts, and I saw the clips and I have some of the information in front of me, decided that they were going to come out and they were going to make a polarization statement and lump Republicans and Christians together and a I Hate Jesus campaign. And quite frankly, I am sick and tired of the denunciation and the attacks on Christians. What are your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just it's reached the point where you can't watch these types of things, and you can't watch them from the point of view of just what they say, and even from the point of view of the morals that are involved. I mean, the crudeness, the things they say. We've always known Hollywood is rotten, but it's reached to the point where it's falling apart. It's just gone beyond everything.
Absolutely. When you hear the moo of a cow, that means we've got a caller on my program. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please, with your question.
Well, I'm out and about a lot. I'm a very busy man, thank God. And I was talking to a young high school student who was out on a job working as a helper. And I said, what is it that you guys do on them phones? And I says, what's the primary thing that you do on them, besides text and talk with each other, I says, when you access entertainment or information, what are most of the kids doing? And I'm going to tell you what he told me. And this kid was raised in a Christian home. What he told me scared me to death. And what these kids, and he said it didn't matter whether or not it was girls or boys, they're accessing things on there that you and I know to be extremely damaging to anybody. And he was telling me, I can be there in 10 seconds. And I'm going to tell you, it scares me to death. And I know it's not a tasteful subject, but reality is such that it's looking us right in the face here. And I do not know what we do about it. I'll hang up. Thanks.
Respond to the caller, if you would, please, John, please.
Right, I think I agree entirely. We are in it's just an incredible thing what's online and and the way people are online. You know, it's a constant thing. It's not just it's something that's addictive, and you know, you have people that are just always on there and always looking at the horrible things that are there, and I think parents need to be really involved. There's no other way out. But I mean, at a certain point, also. They are responsible for their actions, but it is a very insidious way to corrupt youth and older people as well.
John, have parents, in your opinion, I'm not going to generalize and say all parents, but many, many parents today, in my opinion, have lost the ability to say no and mean it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. No, I know exactly what you mean. Although I do know parents that have said no. I mean, they do exist. It's not as if they're not out there. And I do know young people that are, you know, resisting these kind of things. I deal with young people. I even teach a bit, college level students. And, you know, sometimes I'm very surprised about what I hear from them because they are, they realize the problem. Some of them really realize the problems. They've gotten rid of their phones. They've done all sorts of things. And, you know, you say, well, you know, it's not as if they can't do it, but the culture definitely tells them they should do it.
But what about education in general, whether it's in kindergarten, the elementary grades, junior high, high school, college, etc.? There's a very left-leaning approach to education, and I think that, along with a very permissible parent situation, that's why we've created this problem today. Am I wrong?
Definitely it's there, and I don't know if you can lump all schools in the same degree of corruption, but I mean, definitely they all participate, and I think that's probably why we have the homeschooling movement now that's so vibrant, because parents have taken it into their own hands.
The other issue that you and I have talked about in the past, and I think it bears another discussion here this morning, are the churches themselves. Now, I took a lot of criticism the last time for bringing this up and saying it like I did, but I'm going to say it again. I've got big shoulders. Pastors and churches, I think, need to be much more direct and much more active from the pulpit in telling what the problems are in America today. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Definitely. I mean, that they are on the front line of the whole of the moral situation in the country, and they are those who are called to fight it. We do need more hell and brimstone servants. I mean, it does good for our souls to hear about hell and brimstone, because it says there is a right and a wrong, and there is an eternal punishment for those who sin in a major way. So yes, definitely.
If we stay on this kind of a road, this kind of a freeway downhill, what do you envision for America in 5, 10, and on into the future? Boy, I'm kind of scared about what's going to happen for my grandkids, etc.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there is that we're going to face a moral reckoning to set things right. Things are going to, our actions, our spending, our way of life, it's going to catch up with us. And that's what I think is our future. This reckoning will have to be some kind of crisis that will unite the nation to think and see things in a different way. And that's and I think God has to somehow act in that reckoning. That's the future, I think. I don't know when. It's those kind of timelines are hard, but definitely that's what we're facing.
Well, one of the things that I took heat on, and many times saying this on my program, but I'll stand behind it, is the idea and the ideology, spare the rod, spoil the child. I think we've got to become much stricter. We've got to, like I said earlier, say no and mean no, and become better leaders for our kids, because quite frankly, this kind of just letting them go here and there, helter-skelter, it's certainly not working.
Definitely, and we definitely have to do that. But I think also we have to propose something. We have to do the negative, but we have to propose something positive, and to emphasize the positive aspects of life in the family, of life with God, to the prayer life for that matter. All these kind of things are a package. You have to put them together, and it is a very difficult situation because young people are very anxious. They do have that rebellious period, but if they are schooled in the whole package, when they get over their rebellious period, they will return to that which they had in their childhood and remembered well in their childhood.
John, this is a question I'm not even quite sure how to ask, but you are you're the man to give me an answer on this. Is God and church dead with the younger generation, or are there still some simmering embers?
I think definitely it's still alive. I mean, I've heard this since I was in the 60s and 70s. I'm 61. My generation was supposed to be the last generation of churchgoers, and we were all written off. I do see people in church, young people in church, and and also you have to consider that it shouldn't be this way. But many times when young people do leave the church, when they face times of trial, they come back, and a lot have come back.
A situation that I wanted you to comment on this morning quickly is, of course, the Judge Kavanaugh situation. Here is a man that seems to be the epitome of a stalwart, good family man, and now his life, his wife, his family are being dragged through a keyhole, and all on allegations. And I honestly don't see how this man or any person can overcome these allegations with the insidious move on the left to just absolutely tear him apart.
Yeah, it is just horrible to think. I mean, I'm just really upset about it, because it is it's just crazy. The allegations don't fit. They don't. The evidence isn't there, and the left is turning this into the final judgment when it's just a confirmation hearing. They're looking for anything in the past that might might in some way incriminate, and that's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to pick a judge.
And I asked this of my good friend in the last segment, Dave Bigo. I said, why? Why would anybody that wants to protect their family from all kinds of insidiousness, why would they want to submit their name to be on this position of the Supreme Court or any position because of this fishbowl attitude and the left ready to drag them through the feedlot?
Definitely, and you have to admire people like Judge Kavanaugh, who is doing this. I think not for his own good, but for the good of the nation. I mean, he has some idealism that that is so very important.
Absolutely. John, I always look forward to having you on the air. Researcher, educator, international speaker, author of Return to Order, From a Frenzied Economy to an Organic Christian Society. Come back again. I enjoy our visits.
I do too. I love it. I really do. I'm a country boy myself on the farm in Kansas, so I really sort of feel I like the feel of the show.
Well, John, you're always welcome here. John Horvat, God bless. Please come back. Thank you much. I'll be in touch.
All right. God bless.
Thank you. Nice man. Very well educated and knowledgeable man. Thank you, John Horvat. I appreciate him being on my show this morning. Okay. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I am waiting for your call, I'm going to go ahead with the weather forecast. And the weather this hour brought to you by some really, really good people that really care about you. They've provided accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. Who am I talking about? Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. The very best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, payroll services, retirement planning. You have questions? They have answers. You want to ask about tax rate changes? They've got the answers. New deductions, old deductions, get a hold of them today for you, your family, and your business. With offices in Burley and Rupert, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we hit midweek stride. Most of the day is going to be nice. Maybe some storm action by this afternoon and early evening hours, and then back to business as usual and sunny skies for the rest of the week. So here's your weather forecast for today. Mostly sunny skies, expecting a high of 75, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. By tonight, we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Partly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 43. Winds are going to gust right around 20 miles an hour out of the west-southwest. By tomorrow morning, we're expecting sunny skies, high of 70, clear skies for tomorrow night with a low of 40. By Friday, sunny skies, back up to 77, and then for Saturday, sunny skies, back up to 80. That's your weather forecast for Zebra.
I appreciate it, Gina. Thank you, and brought to you by the best folks in their industry, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Accountants that really know and can help you. Get a hold of them today. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert, bringing you the weather. There you go. Okay, your calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to talk about Hillary in just a minute. Why? Why? And when will she just please go to the rocking chair, find a kitty cat to put on her lap, and leave the rest of us alone? Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric. We're proud to offer service you can trust, along with Lennox products that can help keep you comfortable and save you money. Ramsey Heating and Electric is offering up to $1,600 in rebates on a brand new Lennox system, so call them today at 678-0459 or visit them online at ramseysonline.com. Proudly offering Lennox products, just another way to make you feel better. Hillary Clinton, you know, she just like, I don't know, a case of the flu. It just keeps going around and around and around. Just keep quiet. Go away. You lost. You are nothing anymore. Not to say that she was really something before, but now she's on a new mission. Oh, yeah. And the Democrats are throwing her out there. She's going out and she is being the head bashing unit, almost slipped up, head bashing unit against Donald Trump. That was close. Anyway, she can do it. She's going to come out and she's going to slam the president. This administration makes some absolutely horrendous and ridiculous comments, like one that she made last evening. She is trying to save us from Donald Trump. Well, Hillary, I've got some news for you. If you're by any chance listening this morning, I don't want to be saved from Donald Trump. I don't want to see the economy change. I don't want to see our gross national product and our GDP slip as it's going higher and higher every day. Things are looking better. You don't have to try to save me from Donald Trump. I would rather be saved from the likes of you. Caller, good morning.
Seb, is it me?
I hope so, or there's going to be dead air. Go ahead.
There you go. Hey, I saw something interesting I think would solve a lot of our problems. I think all Trump needs to do is just nominate Hillary Clinton for the Supreme Court, and then we could finally get an investigation started on her.
I don't know where you came up with that, but when you started talking, I think my cardiac arrest lasted for about 5 seconds. You scared the daylights out of me.
I thought that was pretty funny.
You know, really, when you come down to it, though, aren't you sick and tired and disgusted as to the real sleaze that's oozing its way out of Washington right now? It's sickening, isn't it?
It's just, it is. It's mind-boggling, and that swamp is pretty deep, and there's a lot of scum in that swamp, and we've seen that come out pretty heavily in the last little bit.
Let me ask you something real quick before I let you go. But when it comes to Judge Kavanaugh, and everything that I've read about the guy says that he's the epitome of being a good guy. Family man, he's got a wonderful family, 2 loving daughters. You can see that every time they're together on the TV screens, etc. Holy cow, isn't this just absolutely terrible, denigrating this family? That they'll never get rid of this stain, in my opinion. Once it's there, it's going to be there for a long time.
That's right. Once it's there, it's there. And, you know, heaven forbid, I did some things I'm not real proud of back in high school, but there's going to be a lot of people nervous. You know, you go clear back into high school and start digging up things in their past.
Yeah, but then...
You know, that is...
And the case is, if this was a credible witness that would say where she was, when it happened, who was there, she can't. She can't recall. These are fraudulent allegations, in my opinion, that absolutely have devastated a family.
Right, and it's not like they were at the library studying homework, you know.
Yeah.
She wasn't in the right place either.
There you go. And by the way, thank you for your call, but don't stop my heart like that. Hillary for Supreme Court, I'll never be the same. Thank you.
Get an investigation started at least.
Okay. God bless you, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. Hey, don't forget our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. How do you get the ball rolling? To find out more, you give them a call for an appointment. 436-4424. Dedicated and very responsive to your needs. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. 436-4424. Caller, I've got exactly 1 minute. Go.
Well, you know how it is. Somebody makes an allegation, and that's the first thing they hear. That's the first thing they remember.
Yep.
And they may not even care to find out the truth, especially.
Yep.
And so, I could accuse, or I could be accused of something, and people would just instantly be shocked or whatever and believe it.
Yep.
And see, we're an ADHD society. We got no follow through because we're done in about 5. We're off to another thing, and our attention span is it's a joke.
It is, and I appreciate your call, but what you said is exactly the way it is in society today. Randy, God bless you. I got to run to the news. Have a good day. Thank you. We're headed for the news from CBS. We're going to let them come in and disrupt and tear apart everything we put together so far. We'll be back. Next hour, 10:06, Dr. Tim Ball. Excellent. You're going to love listening to him. Don't miss it. Wheels, take it away. Oh, my goodness sakes, already, hour number 3. Zeb at the Ranch on this Wednesday, September the 19th, and thanks for climbing aboard the old stagecoach with us this morning. Hey, don't forget we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and right now they've got a great big fall tire sale going on, and also some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Want to remind everybody about some other good friends of ours on our program, and they do a job that you and we don't want to do this. We don't want to stand out there and pump a septic tank. Ooh, no. And we don't want to clean out those sewer and sink drain lines. Ooh, no. Well, they do. And they do it with a smile on their face. They've expanded their business to better serve all the Magic Valley. Dino's Septic Service. I urge you to give them a call for septic tank pumping and backhoe service, water and sewer lines installed, mainline irrigation system installation and repair. Hey, call them. Rupert number 436-6526 or in Burley 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service with that great big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Well, right now we get a chance to talk to a good friend of this program. He's been on quite a few times, and I can't wait to talk to him about Hurricane Florence and how we humans caused this. Here's Dr. Tim Ball, the author of Human-Caused Global Warming, the Biggest Deception in History. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and thanks for the opportunity again.
You know, Dr. Ball, I am very worried, very sinisterly worried about the Democrats and the left regaining power because, boy, if they do, all bets are off. They're going to have us living in a cave and burning buffalo dung.
Well, I'm not even sure they'd let you burn the buffalo dung, although they're producing a lot of it themselves, so there should be enough to go around.
What in the world, why and how have the Democrats hitched their wagon to this kind of stupidity? Global warming insanity, climate change insanity, jumping in bed with Al Gore, blaming all the weather conditions on President Trump. I mean, what's going on here? Kind of sort it out for us.
Well, it's very simple. It's all about control. I mean, I'm a great fan of Rush Limbaugh's, but a couple of things that I disagree with him about. One is his argument that lost my train of thought there. But that the environmental issue is about to follow the money. It isn't. It's all about power. And the whole scam of global warming began as part of the environmental movement. And here's the frustrating thing about it, and this is what the Democrats do very well. They always find some reasonable backdrop for what they're doing. They say, oh, well, you know, so it makes anyone that questions it appear stupid or insensitive. And of course, with the environment, they took the moral high ground on it. We all care about the environment. How dare they say we're the only ones that care? But this is what they did. And one of the things that came with that was taking normal events and saying that they were abnormal, and therefore they were abnormal because humans were causing them. And this is what they've done with the global warming issue. Now, they needed... With the global warming and climate issue, what they needed was something that was threatening the whole planet, because they needed to transcend national governments, and they needed to be able to say no one government can deal with this. You need a world government, and oh, by the way, to pay for it, we'll have a global carbon tax where the money goes into the International Monetary Fund, and that's what they were doing. But this is, as I said, it's all about control. And so if you can show people that their behavior is causing serious problems, then you can get them to stop doing that behavior. And one of the ways you'd see this is, why did they pick CO2? CO2 is only 4% of the total greenhouse gases. Very few people know that 95% of the greenhouse effect is water vapor. Well, the way they did that was they defined climate change that they looked at as human-caused climate change, which immediately allows them to ignore all the natural variability and only focus on human causes. And they say, well, yeah, humans produce water vapor, put it into the atmosphere, so yeah, we add to the 95% of the greenhouse gases, but the amount we add is so small relative to the total amount, we can ignore it. So therefore, we'll only look at CO2. This is all premeditated, pre-planned, and designed to say you are not capable of saving yourselves, and we have to do it. That's what it's all about.
You know, Dr. Ball, you lay out the premise of the problem very succinctly, and I applaud you for that. But I just want to go into some of the personalities and some of the problems and have you kind of evoke some emotions and feelings about these people. The great memory-challenged Indian princess, Elizabeth Warren, now wants to go after all energy companies and possibly impose a huge tax and also lay the blame of any of the weather changes and challenges at the foot of these companies and make them pay for it. What kind of idiocy is this?
Well, in a way, this is going to sound a little like a bizarre answer. That's very good idiocy, because one of the things is that if you start telling a lie, and you either and the lie is exposed, as is happening with the global warming issue, you either have to say, "Okay, I lied, I'm sorry," or you double down, and But when you double down, all you do is make more and more people realize that you're telling a lie. Because one of the things that I've realized with environmentalism and climate change is, well, what's the role of extremists in our society? And I finally realized that their role is to define the limits for the rest of us. And let me explain what I mean by that. When these ideas of paradigm shifts, like environmentalism, is a new idea, way of looking at the world, and we all needed environmentalism. As I said, it doesn't make sense to soil your own nest. Or feminism, we needed to treat women differently. But the majority of people are saying, well, it sounds like a good idea, but how far do we go with it? And people are afraid of change. The reason they're afraid of change is not because they're, Luddites or anything else. It's because they know when change occurs, somebody's going to get hurt and somebody's going to win, and they might be the ones that get hurt. So they're conservative about it. But then, as the extremists start pushing it, they define the limits for the rest. So people start saying, no, now you're going too far. Now we're losing more than we're gaining. And this is what people like Elizabeth Warren are doing. Of course, yeah, it's insanity. All you've got to say to her is, look, billions of people have been taken out of starvation and poverty and quality of life, and we're living longer and in better health than we ever have. And all of that is due to energy. And all of the countries of the world, I mean, India, for example, the Prime Minister Modi, he looked at the climate science with a panel, and they said it's not worth worrying about, even if it's true. And so he said, look, I've got people starving to death. That's a bigger priority for me. So this is the point that we're at now, and this is why what Elizabeth Warren is saying is actually, in a bizarre way, a good thing.
You know, Dr. Ball, there's so many topics and so many subjects I want to bring up with you in a short period of time. But when you talk about food production, and I believe in being blunt and very simple in the language, you're not going to push a John Deere tractor down a field to plow it and or at harvest time with a propeller on the front end. We need energy to produce food for the masses. Right now, food production and the quality of food production in this country is better than any other place on the planet. And yet the environmentalists and people like Elizabeth Warren want to push us into a non-existence of being able to produce food to feed the world. This is insane.
Yeah, well, of course, that's why I coined the phrase, because I talk with farmers all the time. I coined the phrase that there are no farms in the cities, but there are no cities without farms. And people forget that before the Industrial Revolution, there was an agricultural revolution. And this is what America was built on, was the agricultural revolution that went on in Britain, got transferred to the U.S. The problem, again, ironically, is that the agricultural sector and the farmers are almost too successful. I mean, what you used to have was 88% of the people living on the land, and only 12% in the cities. Now it's exactly the opposite. But those people in the cities have forgotten that it's the farmers that allow them to live there. But they then sit there in their pious environmental chairs and tell farmers and other people how to behave. And the reason I'm saying farmers in America are so successful is, yes, you've got 18% rural population, but only 2% are listed as actual farmers. So you've got 2% producing enough food for the other 58% or 98% with food left over to export. And, of course, that means you lose your political power, because where's the politician going to go for the biggest vote and the biggest clout? And this is the difficulty. And that's why I was so pleased that Trump went to the farm meeting in Kansas in his first year in office and said, hey, I'm going to get rid of that death tax that's killing you from keeping your family farm. So Trump is one of the first presidents to be fully aware of what's going on. So, yeah, you're absolutely right about the food supply. And, of course, other countries are trying to achieve exactly what the U.S. is doing.
Absolutely. Dr. Ball, we have a question from a caller, so go ahead, caller, quickly. I'm short on time. Please, go ahead.
Well, freedom creates free market capitalist thinkers. And in America, these people are allowed to go out and do what they need to do. And they're freedom. It's called freedom, and it's the reason we have so much abundance, because people are innovative and intelligent. In the Soviet Union, when they broke up, they deeded land of 160 acres to people to homestead, and those people they don't know how to do it. They don't care. They don't know how to go out and make it happen like the American farmers. In Russia, they got fertile soil that sits idle because these people just don't have the gumption or the whatever it is they're missing to go out here and make it happen.
Just very quickly.
Freedom is
sorry to interrupt
the reason we're so great.
After the revolution, and they collectivized, took over all the private land and gave it to the government, 7 years later, Lenin had to introduce the new economic policy. What that was giving little plots of land to all the peasants. And when Gorbachev brought down the Soviet Union, those little plots of land were producing 56% of all the food that was produced in Russia. So it failed completely there, and it's failed in every country. I don't care whether you call it communism, Marxism, socialism, progressivism, liberalism. It's all the same. It's all about government control. You people are stupid. You don't know what to do. You need us to save you and give us the power to do that. This is what's happening. And this is the battle that's going on in November.
Absolutely. Dr. Ball, correct me if you think I'm wrong. I'm going to paint a little scenario for you, and I hope that it doesn't come to fruition. If the Democrats regain power in the House and the Senate, and God forbid the presidency in 2020, I envision the fact that carbon cards will be issued to all of us. And if we go in excess of a certain amount of usage, we're not only going to pay through the nose, or we're probably going to have to go without. Senior citizens could be living in absolute jeopardy of not having food, not having medicine, not having heat, not having shelter because of what might happen with the carbon card usage. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And in fact, America came very close to that. I've forgotten which year it was, but EPA was on the verge of putting limits on CO2 production from 15,000 sources in the U.S. So all the energy companies and all the major companies producing food and producing everything else, they were going to implement that. And then somebody realized in Congress what was going on, and they got them to stop doing that. But you were on the verge of that a couple of years ago. And so, they're hell-bent to do this, and there's no question that if they got the power back again, that's what they would do. And by the way, that's why Trump shut down or attacked the EPA right off the top. That's why he put Scott Pruitt in there, because this was all being done through the EPA, and they were using the rules. This is what's so bizarre about society. Rules are designed to make things function and work, but when they say they're going to work to rule, what they're telling you is they'll shut it down. And the EPA were creating rules. For example, they couldn't take your land because you have private ownership of land, but they could say, well, look, you're dirtying puddles and pool water on your land, so therefore you're not a good steward of the land. We're going to take it away from you. So they'll find ways of getting around it and doing it through rules and regulations. So, yeah, you're absolutely right with what they would do with the carbon thing. And, of course, it's all based on the idea that CO2 is a dangerous gas when it isn't. It's absolutely necessary to life on Earth.
I've asked you this before, but I want you to reiterate your answer again. On the worry meter, from 1 to 10, with the worries about what the so-called environmentalists, the so-called Al Gores and others, Elizabeth Warren, if they regain power, where are we on the worry meter for absolutely living our lives with complete control of the government?
Well, I think from that perspective, if they gain control, and that's an assumption, then I think that you're at a 9 or a 10. I mean, Rush Limbaugh says America's the last hope for freedom, and my reply is no, it's the first hope for freedom. You're the only country in the world that has free speech, has the right to defend yourself with guns, has private ownership of land. And so all of that would disappear. But the silver lining is that the polls are showing, the United Nations poll of 10 million people in 8 different countries listed 16 concerns for people. Climate change was number 16th. The Pew Center poll, which is a left-of-center polling agency in the U.S., they monitor 34 indicators of public concern, and global warming and climate change is 32nd on the list and has been there for 5 years. The public know there's something wrong, but they don't know enough to be able to voice it. So they're just sitting quietly by, and I think that what you're going to see is come November, they'll speak out. And but I do think that if they get control in November, it's not only the end of freedom in America, it's the end of the hope of freedom in the rest of the world. And just to illustrate that, here in Canada, we've got a prime minister that I didn't get to vote for, no Canadian got to vote for, and we have a Senate of 107 people, all appointed by the Prime Minister, who can overrule any legislation passed by the elected People's House of Parliament. So you've got socialism right next door to you.
Absolutely. And, the whole thing is absolutely so ridiculous. It's like a fairy tale. Why would these people, these groups of people, want to kill the golden goose that is creating economic upturns and creating more money, and there's more money available to everybody to share in the wealth? Why do they want to denigrate our society to one of nothing but medieval control? It's beyond me.
Well, I think that one of the answers is in a book by a Dr. Rossiter called The Liberal Mind. And what he's arguing is these people are born this way. This is why, even though you show them facts and evidence, it doesn't register on them. They cannot see the world in any other way. And luckily, there's enough people in the middle between them and the people that are independent free thinkers. There's enough in the middle that can be swayed one way or the other, which is why you get elections where you've got 40% on one side and 40% on the other. And what determines the election is where that 20% in the middle are leaning at the time. And sadly, that 20%, there's a lot of them can be persuaded by money, because people will always vote for the government that's going to give them more. And so, as I said, the liberal mind is born, not created by nurture.
In addition to reading your book, the author of Human Caused Global Warming, The Biggest Deception in History, written by you, Dr. Tim Ball, in addition to that, what would you tell my audience they need to do, they need to get involved in, they need to speak up? What would you tell them?
Well, I think the first thing is to recognize or to stop reacting to every urgency. One of the ways that people that want to control you is they constantly try to keep you off balance. And they make it look like they're out of balance, but in fact, their out of balance is making you react to them. That's the first thing. And proof of that is I taught a seniors class, and I had 300 people come in every week for over 20 years. And I had one guy always ask very, very good questions, and I said, you're very well informed, because we talked about things that were in the news. And I said, you read the paper every day? And he said, oh, yeah, I never miss. And I said, well, how do you read it and not get angry like I do? He said, it's easy. I read it a week late. Read a week-old newspaper and see how much of it has any relevance anymore. That's the first thing I urge people to do. The second thing I urge people to do is don't pay attention. If you read it even a week late, don't pay attention to the headline. The headline will always be active voice. It'll always say, professor says, scientist says. Read the article and look at how many words in it are conditional. Could, maybe, it's possible. Virtually none of what you see in the papers is real news. It's all speculation and therefore fake news. So those are some of the things that ordinary people can do not to be stampeded into overreacting in this 24-hour news cycle. And so they can resolve it for themselves and sit back calmly and what they also need to notice is how you see a story comes up. Look at the number of stories come up and you say, oh, this is the end of Trump. And then he moves on, and the stories disappear. And, of course, these people dream up another one, and it disappears at some point. But the bigger problem I have, of course, is that people start to believe all of this, and we'll start to lose credibility. And those real issues that we do need to deal with, they'll say, we don't believe anything you tell us anymore. And we're on the verge of that right now.
Dr. Ball, where can people find your book, Human Cause Global Warming? Where are the outlet points?
The outlet points are Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble, and if you want to track that down, it's on the front page of my website at drtimball.com, DRTIMBALL.com, and that would take you to the book. And I've written it, by the way, in a format that is very rare these days. It's done as investigative journalism. I ask the questions who, what, where, when, why, and how, and answer those questions, and that's also what we need to do with every single issue that's out there today.
Absolutely. I am honored every time you say yes to come on this program, Dr. Tim Ball, and the book is Human Cause Global Warming, the biggest deception in history. Sir, thank you, God bless, and come back again.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for allowing me to give people the other side and doing something that the others don't want them to do, that is make up their own minds.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you very much. Dr. Tim Ball, and again, the book called Human Cause Global Warming, the biggest deception in history. Wow, I love having him on the air. He really is straightforward and answers it the way it should be. Let me see, what else have I got to tell you about? Oh, before we send it over to Wheels, I've got to tell you about Syringa Plaza. Wonderful, wonderful place, lovely and affordable senior community in Burley, Idaho. And they've got so many amenities like secure key code entry, and they've got fire monitoring and water sprinklers, and they've got wonderful, beautiful one-bedroom apartments and kitchen with electric range and refrigerators, emergency call system. The list goes on and on. You need to check this out. It serves low-income seniors who maintain an independent living status with or without assistance. Syringa Plaza, located at 626 Elba Avenue in Burley. And the number to call, number to remember, 677-4204. Syringa Plaza. Right now, we're going to send it over to Wheels, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
Thank you much. And before I get my guest on, I've quickly got to tell you about the Bennett Boys Auction Service. They're going to have a big sale, the Ambrose Auction, coming up this Saturday at 11 o'clock. And that's going to be in Filer at 4050 North, 2100 East. Watch for the sale signs and lunch by the Cook Shack. They're going to have all kinds of interesting items. Shop equipment, power back 5,000-watt generator, Shopmaster table saw, along with engines and trailers and all kinds of pipe and guns like an Ithaca SKB shotgun, saddles, sporting items. It's a big sale. You'd better be there at the Ambrose Auction coming up 11 o'clock on Saturday, located in Filer at 4050 North, 2100 East. Watch for the signs, and this sale managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, yep, they sell them all. And don't forget, too, our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, offering great service you can trust, along with Lennox products that can help keep you comfortable and save you money. This fall, Ramsey Heating and Electric is offering up to $1,600 in rebates on brand new Lennox systems, so call them today at 678-0459 or visit them online at ramseysonline.com. A woman that absolutely is welcome on this program anytime because she's very straightforward and tells it like it is. She is the co-chair of the Media Equality Project and national spokeswoman for MediaEqualizer.com. Megan Barth, good morning. Glad to have you with us.
Hi, Zeb. Always good to be with you. Thanks for having me back on.
You are a treasure to have on the air because you do tell it like it is, and I expect nothing less. This mess, this manure pile that's piling up deeper and higher in Washington, D.C. over the Kavanaugh nomination, with this absolutely foolish allegation from Ms. Ford, sickens me. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think you have a lot of people behind you supporting you and feel the exact same way, including myself. I have been on no less than 15 radio shows since yesterday morning, and one particularly in Connecticut this morning. And, of course, Connecticut is the state where they elected a man who lied about his military service in Vietnam. That would be Richard Blumenthal.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the Democrats want to come out in support of the women because the women must be believed. But they don't want to believe the women that have actually come out against Keith Ellison, the second most powerful man in the DNC. And the difference between the women that came out against Keith Ellison and the one woman that has come out against Brett Kavanaugh is a couple. Well, there's a lot of differences. One, these women have filed police reports when they believed that their life was threatened. They were physically abused and verbally assaulted by Keith Ellison. They have text messages and they have videos. But it's interesting because the left is unusually silent about these women, right? Because it depends on the left. It depends on whether or not your charges are against a Democrat or a Republican. And if you're a woman, and usually Democrat women that are volunteers that are abused by their Democrat handlers, right? Like Juanita Broderick, for example. The women are just largely ignored. It's only until the Democrats find a progressive patsy, a feminist, that wants to come forward and defame and publicly smear and publicly humiliate and destroy the reputation of a Republican nominee, a Republican candidate, or a Republican man. They attempted to do this with Clarence Thomas. They attempted to do this with Donald Trump as candidate. Where did all of those 13 women go, or 12 women, or how many ever women there were that Gloria Allred marched in front of every camera before the election? Where did they go? Where are they now? There is no outrage from the left when it comes to substantiated allegations against Bill Clinton or against Keith Ellison, or even Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada. He simply said, "Oh, I just remember the situation differently."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then he gets the pass. But we have some woman who supposedly, some psych. Have you ever met a psych that doesn't need a psych? We have some woman that supposedly is in counseling with her poor husband. And she all of a sudden remembers that her life was endangered. She literally said, "I thought I was going to be inadvertently killed." But she doesn't remember the time. She doesn't remember the place. But she certainly remembers the name. She doesn't remember any other detail about her attempted murder. But she knows it was Justice Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
And what we know about this woman is that she chose to remain anonymous. She made this discovery in counseling in 2012. She finally came forward on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. She handed over her anonymous letter via her congresswoman who handed it to Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein sat on it for 2 months. So obviously Dianne didn't think it was that big of a deal. Because why would you sit on something like that for 2 months? Especially when Judge Kavanaugh was a seated judge on the federal district court in D.C.
That's right. That's right. Megan, let me ask you this. first of all, she said she was going to testify. Then last night, during the news, she gave a revocation of that wanting to testify, which I think was an arm twist by the Democratic Party, and said, well, I'll testify after there's a complete FBI investigation. Well, the FBI doesn't want to investigate because, quite frankly, I don't think they have the power to jump in something like this. It's not a federal case. But there's not going to be an investigation, I don't think. And then this woman basically is not going to testify, and this whole thing's turned into a can of worms that has just completely denigrated a great American family, the Kavanaughs. This stain can never be removed.
Well, and that's the purpose. Yeah, that is the left. They want to destroy this person. They want to destroy who they view as their political enemy. And they've done it time and time and time again. We still have members of the media, who of course are left, who refer to Clarence Thomas as a sexual predator. So this stain will forever remain on the Kavanaughs, and that is with the intent that the Democrats have created this political smear campaign, this character assassination. It doesn't matter how many victims lie in their path or behind them, because it's all about the politics of personal destruction when it comes to the left.
Absolutely. Let me...
This whole canard, and I must speak as a woman, and I feel sorry for you men, because I've been talking about this now, like I said, over 15 shows. This whole canard that women must be believed when they come forward, that's a bunch of horsepucky, as they say. Because then what happens is that you, as the accused, lose your due process. You are now violated, not only by the accusation, but now you have basically sacrificed, based on their accusation, your constitutional right to be innocent until proven guilty. And the Democrats want to make sure that you are guilty until proven innocent. So they are bastardizing the Fourth Amendment, much like they are attacking the First Amendment and attacking the Second Amendment, and now they are attacking the Fourth Amendment with this whole canard that, oh, women must be believed. Well, yeah, what about the woman that came after the Duke lacrosse team? She turned out to be nothing but a liar. But it was only after the fact that the men's lives were absolutely ruined. And then we can go over to the University of Virginia, where Rolling Stone ran with another anonymous progressive, Patsy, who said that she was raped by an entire fraternity. Those lives of those men were absolutely ruined, and then she was found out to be a liar. And then we can go over to Columbia University, where some feminist martyr strapped a mattress on her back and walked around the campus and basically accused her ex-boyfriend, who was also a student, of rape. So his public reputation, his life, his student career was absolutely ruined. And guess what? She was a liar. So how many more victims do the feminazis need in their quest for social justice or reproductive justice or whatever justice they're fighting for instead of blind justice?
Absolutely. Well stated. Megan, we have a caller with a question. Caller, I'm going to ask you to keep it short and succinct. Go ahead, please.
Well, when Clarence Thomas read his statement that is legendary now about a high-tech lynching, was that one of the things that saved his nomination, or is it just different now than in 91? Kavanaugh is a very articulate man. If it was just him and her and the senators in a hearing, would she be credible? I doubt it. And so, what can save this? And I'll hang up.
All right, Megan, would you address the question, please?
What can save this is the Republicans going forward with this confirmation and confirming Judge Kavanaugh. Because this woman lacks all credibility. You know, when you make a charge, for example, if I'm a woman or a victim or whatever, and I go into the police department and I say, oh my God, I was raped or I was assaulted or I was harassed or whatever, they'll ask me 1,000 questions. And it's not because they're wishing to victimize me any further. It's because they need the answers in order to conduct the investigation. And she's not willing to provide any answers. She's just saying, hey, I made this statement, FBI, go investigate it. Well, number one, it's not under the purview of the FBI. It's not a federal case. Number two, where are they going to go to investigate it? She has no idea where it occurred. Sometime in 81, sometime in 82, sometime in 83, at some place in some county, somewhere. Now, for example, I actually was sexually harassed. Okay? So my lawyer told me at the time, well, it's going to be a very hard case. Why? Because it's he said, she said. And the preponderance of, and it is your responsibility as a plaintiff, me, to present all of the facts and all of the evidence and make your case based on truth and based on evidence. And that's what you're going to have to do. Now, was it easy? No. But I came armed with the facts, I came armed with the evidence, and at the end of the day, I was victorious.
Mm-hmm.
That is how the process is supposed to work. So all of these Democrats saying, oh, well, you know, the FBI must investigate. Well, she's going to have to answer some questions. How can they begin the investigation without having any sort of evidence or statement from the accuser?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Megan, let me ask you this. You touched on it briefly, but I want you to expand on it a little bit more because I've really chastised the Republican Party earlier this morning. They are a party of no spine, no backbone, no attitude of they're in power, and they should show that they're in power. They are a bunch of milquetoast wussies for bending over and letting capitulation occur with the Democrats, and this has got to change. Until they get some backbone, this situation is going to get worse.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, they were really doing the bidding of Judge Kavanaugh by delaying this because, you know, he wants to defend his honor.
Right.
He wants to defend his reputation. He wants to defend his family. And he should be allowed to do that. And so they gave, according to judiciary and the rules of the committee, they delayed it by 1 week. And that was until, Monday, I guess,
right.
that she was supposed to testify.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's not going to testify, that's what I said, then now the Republicans, they gave her a week. They've given Judge Kavanaugh the opportunity if he wanted to take it in a public forum or a private forum. But if she's not going to show up, he can make his last statement if he wishes. He can make it publicly. He can make it to the press. He can make it in front of the committee, however he wants. And then you start the confirmation hearing. You take a straight vote, up or down.
Absolutely. We have a caller with another question. Megan, stand by. Caller, go ahead, please. You're on the air.
Well, I liked your last statement. Amen. But I wanted to bring up the fact of Judge Roy Moore. That's another one they ruined, and he didn't make it in.
I'll have Megan comment on the air. Would you comment, please, on Judge Roy Moore?
Sure. So we're looking at these allegations now that have become political weapons. So the left now has been empowered to take allegations by these women and use them as political weapons against their political enemies. So Judge Roy Moore is a very good example. Now, if I had accused Judge Roy Moore of pedophilia, which is really what they did, I would make sure that I haunted that man for the rest of his life. But they've disappeared, haven't they? Where's Gloria Allred? She's disappeared. Where's her daughter, Lisa Bloom? She's disappeared. All of a sudden, all of the anger surrounding Judge Roy Moore and him being charged with nothing less of pedophilia has completely disappeared. So what does that tell you?
You know, Megan, absolutely. Megan, I got to ask, I'm almost out of time, but I want to ask you one other question. The media has completely used this as another we hate Trump, we want to run Trump out of office issue. How do you see this playing out over the next 2 weeks on the Kavanaugh nomination and also the media's absolute buying into this for another nail in the coffin of Donald Trump?
Well, the nomination needs to get underway. It needs to take place sooner rather than later. We do not want to drag this out or it becomes a drag. It will drag the party down. It will drag the whole process down. It has already besmirched the reputation of one good man, and it will empower the Democrats to do it time and time again. So the nomination and the confirmation, or the confirmation rather, needs to get out of the way. The media is a hopeless cause. The media is only the extension of the Democrat Party. They are the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party. CNN has lower ratings than I think it's the Home Shopping Network. If CNN wasn't on in every airport based on national contracts, what would their ratings be? Nothing. And so I think the American people can see through this. And I do believe that anger is a very good motivating factor of getting people to the polls. So I want every one of your listeners to remember how much anger you feel watching a good man being completely destroyed over political reasons and lies. And I want you to take your family to the polls, and I want you to take your friends to the polls, and I want you to drive out every socialist, seditious Democrat.
Amen. What a way to wrap it up. Thank you so much. I love this lady, co-chair of the Media Equality Project and national spokeswoman for MediaEqualizer.com, Megan Barth. Come back soon. I'll give you a call. We'll look forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, take care. She tells it like it is, and that's the way it should be, and doesn't spare any verbiage, and I love that. This mess, this absolute despicable mess, created, formed, and perpetrated by the Democrats, and the ruination and destruction of a good family. Disgusting. Let's get a weather forecast on here quickly, and the weather brought to you this hour by Scarro's Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. Don Scarrow and the crew, and the number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, all the delicious meats. Still, with the weather forecast for this weekend, wow, it's barbecue weather outside. You can have a great time with the marinated pork ribs and the tri-tips and the beef and the pork and the chicken, everything from Scarro's Meats. It is great. Get a hold of them today. Scarro's Meats in Jerome. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast as we hit midweek stride. Most of the day is going to be nice. Maybe some storm action by this afternoon and early evening hours, and then back to business as usual and sunny skies for the rest of the week. So here's your weather forecast for today. Mostly sunny skies, expecting a high of 75, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. By tonight, we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Partly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 43. Winds are going to gust right around 20 miles an hour out of the west-southwest. By tomorrow morning, we're expecting sunny skies, high of 70, clear skies for tomorrow night with a low of 40. By Friday, sunny skies, back up to 77, and then for Saturday, sunny skies, back up to 80. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Range.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you. And brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Absolutely great meats from 331 North Road, Jerome. Telephone number to call Scarro's, 324-7657. And like I said, you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, it's good. Scarro's Meats, changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. I want to remind you, I've still got time for a couple of phone calls. Give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. But tomorrow is Lunch Bunch, and I really would like you to be there. If you've never been there before and you're saying, well, gee, how much does it take to join? Nothing! Except you got to come down there and be with us. We'd love to have you at Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant in Burley, 611 North Overland in Burley. And we start at 11:30. Yes, sir. I wrap up the program maybe a few minutes early. Old Wheels takes care of it for me. And then we really head down the highway to get there and enjoy great food and a lot of fun. And we give away a lot of door prizes, too. We'd like to thank Walmart, Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, and Denny's for all the door prizes. So be there tomorrow at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, for Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Don't you miss it. A quick note, and it's going to be coming up on Friday, September 28th. the annual Bounty of Harvest Dinner and Bazaar, sponsored by the Rupert United Methodist Women on Friday, September 28th from 4 until 7 p.m. at the church at 605 H Street. Wow, what a dinner menu. They're going to have pulled pork, oven-roasted new red potatoes. Oh, I love those. And Methodist squash. Nobody's ever told me what Methodist squash is. Carolina-style coleslaw, applesauce, home-baked rolls, and pies. And there's going to be a baked food sale and craft bazaar. And if you'd like to have dinner to go back to your home, call them at 436-3354. All that coming up on Friday, September 28th. I want to say big shout-out thank you to your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They are our major sponsor. They've ridden the horse with us for a long time, and we appreciate it. They are the best. And right now, they're having a great big fall tire sale. Yes, sirree. Tire sale on your tires for cars, pickups, SUVs, trailers, etc. You don't want to miss it. Like if you've got to pick up an SUV, the backcountry all-terrain tire is on sale right now. Save money. And don't forget, too, all the other amenities they offer, like the best in brake service. And I'm talking the best in brake service with highly trained brake technicians, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. Oh, and by the way, at this time of the year where the temperature's getting cooler and then colder, you better check your battery. And if you need a new one, they've got the best right there at any of the 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Tomorrow, Thursday, we've got the Chamber of Commerce report. We've got Cassia Regional Hospital coming on. We've got Rita Ramsey with her political insight as to what's been going on. We have got, let's see, what else have I got cooking here? We've got the Business Salute. And, of course, Cassia County School Days. All of that and more tomorrow on our program, including all of your calls. So be sure and give us a jingle. We're going to wrap it up for today and get outside and enjoy this beautiful fall weather. And at the end of every program, we always say it the same way. The way things were are the way things ought to be. And we urge you to tune in tomorrow morning, KBAR 12:30 a.m. at 8:06, and then streaming live on the internet, zebbell.com. And oh, by the way, yes, the world needs more cowboys. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:06.